We're back. Friday recording. Been a shitload happening. I don't have a clue what's happening. I've been away, but I'm sure these two are going to fill me in now. So, gents, how are you doing?
Going very good, thank you. Going very good.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Apparently, we're in a bear market, but Bitcoin disagrees. So it's very confusing at the moment. It's wonderful. I mean, it's great to go to bed, wake up, and it's tested the 29,000. Sure, it bounced straight back down again, but just scroll through Twitter and the euphoria is tangible at the moment. It's quite nice to see.
Yeah, maybe that's the topic of today. Is are we still in a bear market? But I've got my own opinions on that. But sure, we can get into it.
Even the birds on Bloomberg are probably confused about what's going on in the market, because you had a couple of the banks recently just absolutely go full send on just random news, fundamentals. That ship has sailed a long time ago. I think even TradFi is just playing one big narrative now. It's just a narrative game, and that's it. You got these fundamentally great companies, but I think they've learned from crypto. Fundamentals don't mean shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think the high level take of are we in a bull or are we in a bear? We're just in a market. There's no kind of bull bear about it. Obviously, absolutely ripping, but still getting the aggressive moves are usually coming from people over long or over short, and then some spot buy comes in and just completely wipes them out. So I don't know. Very, very confusing market to be in, even if you are making money.
The Bitcoin move at the moment seems to be quite an equal spread between the spot and the per players. It's not, primarily you find it's one or the other, but it seems like there's, according to reliable sources. Sources. We're seeing an equal balance between the two. So this might be a sustainable move. But we know how that goes, though. But let's see. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more bullish around what's going on at the moment. A lot of the horoscope guys are saying that it's up only, and then there's another group that are saying it's down only, and it's really, I don't know. It's looking really. Listen, the last time we saw Bitcoin doing this kind of stuff has been almost a year ago. In terms of the deliberate price move and the price action that we've seen. It's been really extraordinary to see. I mean, all you got to go and do is watch the tape. If you don't know what the tape is, it's essentially all the spot and perpetual trading that's going on at once. It's essentially all culminated on a website. We'll actually link it in at the bottom of this video. And it shows you all the price action. And when it is moving, it's just insane to watch. I mean, really big buys, when guys are buying between $1 and $10 million at a time, whether it's spot or whether it's perpetuals. Haven't seen this in, like I said, over a year.
We got a link. We can just flick it up now.
Yeah.
Can you see this? Can you see this chart, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, though, could you imagine being on a night out with the boys and you flick open your Binance app and you clip in 10 mil into Bitcoin because you're pissed?
125x long.
Imagine that.
So Suzu always used to comment on the Chinese businessman who were on their dinner break. That used to trade from their phones. But it was yeah. I've got all my shit off Binance again. Just always panic early. Obviously, it'd be an absolute disaster if anything bad was to happen. But I'm just not fucking around with centralized exchanges anymore. There's absolutely no need. Have you got that link, Jerry?
Oh my God, Jerry!
So here it is. I'm sharing. Can you see it, Grant?
Hey, look, there's a 2 mil buyer coming in there, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. We can just do an hour commentary on the buyers that are coming in and out. This is the thing you want to watch when the Fed meeting's going on or the New York Open, because that goes absolutely bonkers. And you can see the naughty, dirty little wicks flying in on those tickets to the side. If you've never watched it as well, and depending on like whether you're bull or bear, at the bottom it's got like liquidations, so you can see if it's those little bulls that are getting wrecked, or like it's the bears that get. Here we go, look, a little bit of movement, or if it's the bears that are getting absolutely ragged. But that's all it is. It's like a liquidity hunt. It's so funny to watch.
Yeah, I mean, so these are all the big liquidations that happen. So they're obviously called rects, as you can see over here. And then this is the tape. This is what I was talking about. But all the buys from $100,000 plus buys and sells. Obviously, red sells, and then greens are buys. And then when it's really moving, this whole tape moves. You can't actually see how fast it moves, and it's like millions of dollars that move through at every given second. And then depending on whether the price is going up or down, it's actually really cool to watch.
And then we've got our liquidations on this, like the whatever it's called here.
I'm going to do a live. You just missed it. I just did a live buy then. Oh, there's another live buy. Oh, I'm clipping. and again. Pump it. Clip it. There you go. Look, there's my buys. Try and find my wallet there. Hey, clip. There you go. And again. Clip.
So what? Speaking of Binance, is it a nothing burger with the CFTC kind of thing, or like have we got a brief recap we can bring up just so we're not just talking into the abyss?
It's basically about as big as a nothing burger as the whole ZK Sync hype was. Ouch. Sorry, Polygon. I'm on fire this morning.
Well, Grant, when we were in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, we
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that! There you go. Look at this clipping. There we go.
Watch the tape, guys. I mean, it's entertainment of the purest form. Let me tell you something right now. Imagine selling now, especially at this juncture. Imagine selling now. This thing is on a mission. This thing is on a mission to go to the moon, and you're selling. Like, really, bro? Are you selling?
3 mil, 2.6 mil. Look at these boys. They definitely. I'm glad I got in before them because they are pumping my bags. Which I don't have Bitcoin, by the way. I was just joking. I wasn't really clipping.
So, Binance and CFTC. What's the lowdown, Dan? Have you got it on the newsletter this week?
Yeah, basically, like the CFTC were a little bit annoyed that Binance is it's like a, what is it? They just like give it. Oh man, my brain's completely gone today. That's mental. I do apologize.
I mean, when we were in Dubai, there was obviously this conversation of like, should we come to Dubai? Shouldn't we? And I remember someone at dinner was saying, there's a reason why CZ is in Dubai. And to answer your question, Grant, I think it is a nothing burger. I mean, how are you going to sue, prosecute, take any kind of legal precedent against a company that has multiple jurisdictions and where the CEO of the company lives in a place like Dubai? It's just, I don't see anything coming out of this thing besides just a whole lot of noise.
Feels like the whole plan to plant someone inside of an industry that they wanted to take fully control of kind of backfired with Sam and FTX. And now it's like, well, if we're not going to have pure unadulterated control over it, then we're just going to try and kill it with whatever means necessary. And it certainly feels like as soon as that fallout happened, and you could, like, without putting the tinfoil hat on, you could say it's like, oh, well, it's just a backlash following that, but it doesn't really necessarily feel like that based on kind of the political donations and the Gary Gensler connection to SBF and how people were getting reports of him being given preferential treatment, and FTX kind of running to the SEC about all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. So it feels like now that they haven't got full ownership of the space with their poster boy of Sam. It's like, well, we'll just try and stop it in its tracks. But yeah, I don't know. They're all fucking idiots.
If you look at it as well, like they're kind of playing a blinder. So they lost their poster boy, but now they've got Nasdaq. They're going to be launching an exchange soon. Got Amazon will be having like an NFT marketplace. All you literally need now is an approved crypto-friendly bank that then replaces Silvergate, Silicon Valley, and Signature. And like that is the trio, right? That will be the three musketeers that will probably, obviously, like I'm just an idiot with a laptop, but that will probably like put crypto back on the map for America, because you've got three. It will be three trusted names by the government and by like, you know, big whales in the Illuminati and, you know, all those underground people and stuff like that. They've given it the thumbs up, so they're back in control. You know, like the fact that Binance is, you know, going down in America, it's like, look, you know, Binance, I know you've got Binance US, but you can't really trade on Binance anyway. So again, it's a bit of a nothing burger. So they're coming after what, a closed exchange like in the USA. Okay, cool. If Binance can't operate, you know, the partial bits that it does in the USA, it's just gonna go somewhere else, and it'll be perfectly fine.
Is there a discussion to be had around the US government particularly, and this whole narrative around chokepoint 2.0, that they actually do want to control crypto? They see a future in crypto, they see a revenue stream in crypto, therefore they need to control it accordingly, and they are basically putting the pieces in place in order to do that. Is there a discussion to be had around that, or are we just conspiracy theorizing for the sake of having a stream and talking shit?
I'm going to say it's the latter of the two, to be honest. I don't think they're targeting crypto specifically because it's crypto. I think what they're targeting is that it's going against the norm of these like big bankers from way back when. And I think these old boys that are probably on their like, you know, last legs, you know, aren't happy. So all these young bucks that are below trying to move up the ranks of these, you know, behind the scenes banks are trying to, you know, get a leg up. That would be like my conspiracy theory. I don't think it's crypto specific. I think it is the fact that somebody somewhere else apart from them is making an absolute shed ton of money. And I think that's all it comes down to. It's the money.
Yeah. Grant?
Yeah, I think it's one, they don't understand it properly. So it's one of those like, well, should we set legislation that's going to take a long time? It's probably going to be fruitful when all these kind of journeyman politicians and legislators are gone and don't get to reap the benefits of it. So it's like, well, what's the point of even having the discussion, because it's going to take too long to actually figure out. So it's just easier to outright try and blanket ban it. I do have the opinion that the like traditional kind of banking sector are just completely against it. Even though that there's a load of big players that are already in the game, probably making an absolute fortune off the back of it. But yeah, I think it's just they don't want what they can't control. So that's just my kind of reading of it. But I know that there's that thing I tagged you in yesterday, Dan, where they've kind of came out and said that they've been creating a huge documentation about how the SEC overreach is starting to get them in an area where they could be completely like countersued for everything that they've done. So that would be interesting to see who actually picks up and actually wants to run with that. It's going to have to be people who are hugely incentivized. We've mentioned before that we like the fight that Coinbase are taking towards them. But like, if when all's said and done, it doesn't matter. People will move offshore if that's the case, and the US will lose its ground as being potentially one of the greatest places for kind of innovation and the development of the crypto and kind of Web3 landscape. So they need to be very careful how they play this, because people are getting sick. And the thing is with the industry, it can be remote first. People don't necessarily have to work onshore anymore. So I don't think they've had to fight on this kind of battleground previously. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I just want people to be able to do what they want, build what they want, where they want, when they want, obviously in a safe and whatever the word compliant manner means. But I just think it's pathetic that they kind of go after grown adults, telling them what they can and can't do in any sense, whether it's crypto or anything else. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But not to get too philosophical or political, but that's what it is.
So what I found really interesting is that the legal department within Coinbase came out and said, listen, we've had over 30 meetings with the SEC over the last 2 years or whatever it's been, and we're wanting to comply, we're wanting to understand what the landscape is, but you have given us, and the SEC has given us absolutely no feedback that is meaningful for us to be able to go and make it happen. And then this guy, this distinguished gentleman, the Honorable Gary Gensler, was in front of Congress yesterday, and this is what he says. He's saying that, listen, everything's pretty clear in terms of what the regulation is, and people are non-compliant, and we're now doing our jobs. So as far as he's concerned, everything's cool. We're good. Like, we know what we're doing. We've made it very clear what compliance looks like. And then you got Coinbase saying, but you haven't. So we really are in a very interesting territory. And I personally think that the SEC is going to land themselves into a whole world of pain down the road. Because why? Because Coinbase has got serious cash. They've got serious legal clout, and they're not going to lie down and roll over on this thing. There's no ways they make a statement where they say, we're trying to comply, we're not getting the feedback. They're not saying that in the public domain if they haven't done their homework. I think Gary's in for a world of pain, and it's incoming very shortly.
Yeah, and even if you look at the CFTC's actual report, like in it says that Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum are commodities, which goes against everything that Gary Gensler is trying to say. But he's got another year or two in power, so I think he'll be gone. But you know what's really funny is like they've pushed innovation away so hard from the USA that it's gone to China. And the ironic thing is, this is just pure speculation. I think China fudded to buy the dip, to ban it all, to keep buying the dip, to now start to open the gates of crypto in China. I think that's what's happened. And they're going to test it in China's testing ground, which is Hong Kong.
That's exactly what's happening, Dan. Hong Kong has said that they're keen and they're pro crypto. Let's go.
Yep.
Imagine that. The greatest bag fumble of all time. United States of America, the year 2023, where we gave up crypto.
This is the thread I wanted to bring up. Let's see. Yeah, it feels like the CFTC and the SEC are fighting for who gets to regulate crypto, though. That's the only issue.
That's it. That's the one.
Can you see this?
Slowly loading.
You got that on there now?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this xlawyer.eth is a great handle. So the lawyers from the prestigious firm Cooper and Kirk, which has argued numerous cases before multiple circuit courts and the United States Supreme Court, has issued a white paper describing how the federal banking regulators, including the FDIC Gov, have illegally taken action, colloquially known as Operation Chokepoint 2.0, that have resulted in denying bank services to US crypto firms. The entire white paper is here. So, and he's just saying this is no fly-by-night law firm that no one has heard of or cares about. This is a firm that has argued and won before the United States Supreme Court on multiple occasions. The paper is well-researched, well-sourced, and is a damning rebuke of the illegal and unconstitutional actions of multiple government agencies. So, yeah, so this Cooper and Kirk, it'd be interesting to see where the incentive for doing so is coming from. if it's the case of just going after you kind of multiple agencies as it refers to, then it's going to be an interesting one. I haven't read the actual paper in and of itself, but there seems to be a few people that it's came up on their kind of radar, and we know sometimes strange, isn't it? Because we're so kind of so biased towards it that often it's difficult to see our opinions as rational. But obviously, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's completely overstepped the mark. Yeah, but it's even people from the outside looking in and now saying this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Like the overreach is absolutely pathetic, and it feels like they just do it on. I don't know. They make the little videos, and Gary Gensler sat there making these little explainer videos of what shit is, like proof of stake, not proof of stake. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. But I don't know. I'll try and follow this quite closely because I think it's important, and I'd love to see them get turned over because it'd be absolutely great.
Mr. Crypto Reliable, Mr. Nick Carter, who has been, in my opinion, one of the most intellectually and clear-headed commentators on crypto for as long as I can remember, has been quite outspoken and has written and spoken in a number of streams around this whole chokepoint 2.0, and it's worth watching. It's worth going and just following what Nick's been talking about. What I like about Nick is that he's very academic in his approach. I mean, he obviously has his bias and he admits to it, but then what he does is he consciously tries to distance himself from that bias and present the information at hand in as academic and as neutral as way as he possibly can. I mean, there's always going to be bias, like you say, Grant. It's kind of like we have kind of like our opinions and we hold on to them quite strongly. But Nick, he's very good at looking at the big picture, and he's run with the story, and it's worth, if you guys are listening and watching, just go check out what Nick's written about and spoken about this topic. Yeah, I think there's a lot that's going to come out of this. A lot of money's been essentially flushed down the drain just to protect somebody or something's interests here. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting story going into 2023 for sure.
This is the best meme to come out of it all. The Virgin SEC chairman versus the Chad CFTC chairman.
I haven't seen this one.
Full set of hair, shaves it off for fun. Yeah, I got this from here, Gary. Protect these nuts.
Oh my god, this is hysterical. Oxygen is a security. That's the best one.
Receding hairline, but tries to grow it anywhere.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Fuck, mate. Oh god. No wonder the space never gets taken seriously. But anyway, should we move away from this? It's fucking boring anyway, isn't it? So
I really have an important question to ask you, gentlemen. Shanghai, what's going to happen? It's around the corner. You know, there's a whole lot of FUD going around that it's going to dump and ETH's going to go to $1,200. I mean, really good friends of ours and people we respect very much are saying $1,200 ETH at least. Shorts are open. It's going to go to Hades. And then other people are like, bullshit. It's fine. Everything's great. It's
bullshit.
Bullshit. We've got a bullshit. We've got a bullshit. Grant, what do you think?
I think it'll be fine.
I think it's going to dump.
It's not like it unlocks and then everyone's immediately got all their funds in their wallet at once. It's effectively a one in, one out. You can redeem your rewards and then slowly kind of start running for the exits if you need to. But it's not as if like everyone who's being staked is going to 100% unlock at the same time and then just proceed to dump. So mate, I don't know. I'm probably a bit too optimistic thinking around it. I don't think it's probably... Well, the issue is, right, it's the same issue that plagues the space and has done since the day it was born. It's people with conflicting opinions that are speaking about the same topic on a different time horizon. So it's like, are we talking about a half an hour time horizon here, or are we talking about a 3-month or a 12-month time slot? So if people say it's going to dump, do they mean the short term? What's short term? So that's kind of half the arguments online are just based around people with conflicting opinions, but haven't checked each other's kind of time horizon on that thesis. So I don't know. We'll see.
If you okay, I say it like this: we've got what basically like 12-ish days, less than 2 weeks before Shanghai, right? The chances are that it will be a pump and dump into Shanghai, and then a dump and pump afterwards, right? What we can okay, look, there's 18 bajillion Ethereum staked, right? By my mathematical calculations, that's over $32 billion, right? That sounds quite scary, but like Grant said, it's not all getting unlocked at the same time. Like devs aren't that stupid on Ethereum, because if they unlocked all that at the same time, like the whole network would crash and like all the validators will go to like absolute chaos, right? But if you're looking at the number, they've limited the number of daily withdrawals to just 57,600, and that's like genuinely not going to be a lot, because most of the people that staked, especially at the Pico top, probably weren't staking like massive, like, 100,000, 200,000 bags. So it's a narrative up until it. Could you get a good discount afterwards? Probably,
Yeah, another thing,
yeah.
like, Lido is the largest staking provider with 31.33%. It says that they need to upgrade their protocol to allow unlocks to happen, and that's not going to happen until mid-May. So Lido won't be ready for unstaking at the birth of Shanghai as well.
What percentage of depositors are in profit and out of profit based on the pricing that they entered? The majority are out of profit, correct? They're actually underwater.
Yeah, 72%. If you scroll down on there, you've got like 72% of people are actually like underwater. I salute the 6 people that staked when Ethereum was near $5,000. I salute you, boys.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
So based on logic around, there we go.
There it is.
Our stake is in profit. So in the money's green, and then everyone else is underwater or break even over here.
That's in ETH, and then the 72% in dollar terms, so 73%. Sorry, but yeah, and they were. Does it show? All right. Does it show the date that the out of the money staked?
No, I don't think it does. It just indicates who is and who isn't.
Because it's probably the same as everything, isn't it? Like everyone got bullish at the top and started staking at the top.
Correct. That's exactly what happened.
So it'd be interesting to see the.
What's interesting is that number was less than 18. That number was less than 18 million yesterday. On the total state is like 17.9 and some numbers. So it's very interesting to see that people are still depositing. And I've seen like a few whales that I track. They've been like clipping in like 400 or 500 bags of ETH just into staked ETH. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of private individuals and consortiums that staked early on, and they're not unstaking. They're keeping it going. They're earning a percentage that they would never get anywhere else, and they're just going to keep it going. They have no desire. They've taken some rewards out during the bull, and they're just going to keep it going. So, I mean, obviously that's a tiny sample. It's 3 different groups, but they independently have said that they're not going to unstake. There's no real need for it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what percentage of rewards the validators actually unstake and then like cash in. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch how it affects your Lidos and Rocketpools, and I bought some more Butterfly earlier just to see how that plays out and stuff like that. Because I think it's because what Carvas was saying from Lido before, when I need to put that on YouTube actually, but when we interviewed Carvas from Lido and the Gearbox team, he was saying they've spent so much of the Lido kind of treasury on incentivizing staked ETH liquidity on Curve and more recently Balancer and stuff like that. But as Shanghai goes live, and they have been tapering the amount of emissions they've been directing towards pools, but as Shanghai goes live and people can redeem 1-for-1 through like Ethereum and don't have to kind of sell their staked ETH in the liquidity pool, effectively means there's less reliance on trying to maintain like a very, very large depth of liquidity on Curve or Balancer or Uniswap or whatever. So these protocols that have been paying out shitload of emissions will have already started to taper that amount, but also will definitely not have to rely on that mechanism of like deep incentives to, maintain that peg, because people will be able to actually redeem 1-to-1. So don't really know how that plays out. Probably bullish on the governance tokens. Maybe Balancer Aura and a few of us benefit from that as well, but we'll have to see. But that's the beauty of the market, isn't it? There's a lot of speculation, a lot of kind of thesis can get derived from it, and people make money and people lose money. So that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I think we're in for a very interesting couple of weeks, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, you linked something earlier on, Dan, from the duck, and I'll put it up. It's worth actually taking a look, because it's obviously in line with kind of like the bullish case around what's happening in crypto at the moment. And
It's
the
in
best
line with
argument
what we
on
were talking about before we came on air as well, right?
Yeah.
Like the market is so confused. We've had so many like fudge bombs thrown at crypto. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. So we had another lawsuit against Binance. All right, we dipped by $10. All right, but we ain't going nowhere. I feel like the crypto brethrens are joining arms and linking up against this war on crypto, and we shall not break till $30,000, and then we shall continue to go, because we are the crypto nerds and we are here to stay. But you have seen so many like things that should have capitulated the market, should have sent everybody away. But you know what? Like if you look at chart wise, we're actually holding pretty strong, just generally. Like, and as a community, it's real cool to see. Just all the notions on like on Twitter.
I agree with this. I think there's such a strong case for the fact that everything's been thrown at us. Everything. I mean, is there anything left really? And Bitcoin's saying, "Fuck this shit. We going. Let's go." And we're just, and this is, I've said this before. When Bitcoin does this kind of thing, doesn't matter what your chart said. It's really the ultimate bullish case for Bitcoin is it just says, I don't care where your invalidation is. I've got my own plans, and it just fucking goes, and it goes, and it goes, and you think it's over, and okay, cool, I'm going to open my shorts, and then you get wrecked because it does another 20% pump over 3 days. And I feel that that's what it's doing at the moment. It's great.
It feels like that's a typical kind of what's the word? I don't know. That's a kind of typical pattern or storyline that plays out during bottoms or even like midterm bottoms, because it's like if the first piece of FUD didn't make you sell, then the N+1 piece of FUD that we're kind of going through now, it's like who was left to sell at that point?
You know what's interesting?
We've been battered for the last 18 months. If you haven't sold already, it's because you're going to be around. So,
yeah. You know what this feels like. You know what this feels, just before you go. It feels like you know that GIF of like Conor McGregor, like.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
Like, as soon as Bitcoin pumps, like, yeah. That's what it
true.
is.
It's almost worth not even looking at a chart when it's like this. There's no point. You just buy some and just leave it.
Exactly. I was going to say that what happens is that it's like shorts are a lot of fun because it's so counterintuitive to just everything, really. They actually are fun, right? But there is nothing better than a long that just keeps printing, because it's the ultimate reinforcement. It's like, you want a bull case. Okay, I'll show you how you can be a bull. Open a long and watch it go from $10 to $1,000 in like half a day. And then that's what creates a bull market. I promise you, it's like the psychological thing. Like, shorts don't do that. Shorts are exactly the opposite. Sure, you can make money running shorts, but they don't have the same effect as longs. And longs are infectious, because look at us. We're all giddy at the moment because Bitcoin's doing like really cool shit. Are we giddy if we're running shorts? No. It's like, okay, I'm short. Yeah, I'm making money, but it's not the same. And I think that infectious behavior is what creates narratives for bull markets and uptrends. And it's just so much better. I mean, I would much rather be a bull than a bear, even though bears have done really well over the last 8 months. They're just not anywhere near the kind of energy and the vibe that a bull market brings about. And I fucking, please, Bitcoin, give us some more bull. Give us more bull.
You also capped on how much you can make on a short, and you can still get liquid.
Yes, you capped. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
yeah, I mean, ARB is pumping at the moment. Let's talk about what's been doing really well. I think that's quite important in terms of like, because, you know, there's some influencers out there, no names mentioned, where they, particularly one, keeps on going on about Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance is obviously really important, but I'm feeling that we're entering into a realm in this market, and where the market is maturing, where Bitcoin dominance is actually going to be a meme. It's still relevant at the moment. I'm a firm believer that it's just a matter of time before Bitcoin dominance does still affect a lot of alts, but there are alts out there at the moment that are absolutely printing and have completely outperformed Bitcoin. I think one that's in the process of about to do it is Arbitrum, is ARB. I think ARB, I will go down on record today and say that ARB is going to land up outperforming in the short to medium term around what Bitcoin is doing. Why? Because everything's going on Arbitrum at the moment. There is a strong case for it, even though, Dan, you made a joke early on and you said that, you know, there is no rationale and there's no reasoning in crypto. I think for Arbitrum there is. You know, there's all this liquidity coming in. There's all these new projects. I mean, this week alone, I've been approached by at least 10 projects asking us to write about them. We just don't have capacity, but that's what's going on. 10 projects in just over a week that have approached us. And what does that indicate?
You've summoned the pump as well.
I've summoned it. It's summoned.
The pump. Let me
send it.
How the hell is it?
So I think Arbitrum's definitely like one that's just completely going to leave everyone in disbelief. Everyone sold. They were really proud that they sold at $1.50, $1.80. Guys, when this thing goes to $5, you're going to be weeping. And I told you, this thing on the lows is going to probably be a great buy. Obviously not financial advice when it was sitting at like just over $1. If you had bought just over $1, you're 60%, 50% up already. So this is what I'm seeing.
Because mine, it's not letting me bring it up. But it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I know, Grant. You were also a firm believer in kind of like the long-term play of Arbitrum. Couple of shaky moments along the way, but obviously, it's just. I mean, oh wow! I actually did summon it.
Look at that! Summon the pump.
What was the high, Dan? What was the high? $1.55.
According to this, it's $1.56. But if you look on the deck screener, it loaded up at $4.70 or something. And then there was one chart. Some dude managed to like dump it. Like he was like the first dumper, and he like dumped it at like $10, like per ARB. Mental. Yeah, mate, that guy's got some like ninja skills.
Anyways, so Arbitrum's done really well. Well, is doing really well. ICP is another one that's been printing. CFX, another one that's been printing. It's just there's just stuff that's going on in the market right now. Joe, another great one. I mean, Joe's just completely knocked the ball out the park. What's the story now with yeah? Are those all your trades, Dan?
No, so basically, like these eights and nines.
I hope they're not.
No,
I wish they were some of these. Like go short here, hold it. Now, so basically, this is just saying like there's been 8 or 9 candles going in one direction, and usually, like when you're looking at TA, by the 8th or 9th candle, that's when you start to lose a lot of steam. You can probably see here, like look, so this kind of like indicated the bottom. You could kind of see here bottoming out, twist round. So this is OBV, so on balance volume, which essentially just shows you, is there more coming in, like more money coming in, more money coming out. I quite like it because it shows like nice little like M tops. It shows like across here, and then you can kind of see. But if you were to go by numbers or whatever, okay, 8 or 9, this could be a potential buy zone. And then obviously, like, you know, if you see such a rapid move like that, you know, you probably are going to want to pump it, or sorry, you know, part ways with your bag up here, as you know, these people decided to buy dipshits.
Bring up the Joe chart, please, sir.
ICP is such a shit coin. It's unbelievable.
It's such a shit coin.
That's a proper scam, wasn't it?
Proper scam. But it's watch it, dude. Watch it over the next. Watch it on the next couple of weeks. That thing is going to absolutely melt faces. And no, I do not have a bag. I'm not. I've got nothing to do with it. Just observing markets at the moment. Look at Joe. Also, this thing. What is the narrative around Joe at the moment, Grant?
Joe's absolutely killing it because people have realized that it's a far superior product to probably every other DEX on the market other than Uniswap. So they've had a take on concentrated liquidity, which is liquidity book. So what they've thought long and hard about is obviously if you get a set a range in UniV3, choose your lower bound and upper bound, and then you set your liquidity range between there. Obviously, anytime the asset trades between that price, you're earning fees instead of being spread out across the full bonding curve, and which is obviously not great for capital efficiency. So, Joe, let me see if I can bring it up because they've even the UI, which is let me see if I can bring it up here. 2 seconds. The UI and the design of how they've laid this out is really impressive because the whole idea of concentrated liquidity, particularly for like new participants in the market, is a bit of a mindfuck anyway. So, so let's like if we use the ARB USDC example, 80 basis points or 0.8% per trading fee. So you'd come over here, add your amount of ARB, add your amount of USDC, or you can even just deposit single-sided on here. So, and then it effectively lets you choose how you want to set up this range. So do you want it like a tight spot bid, or do you want it on a more concentrated at the price point and that more distributed further away from the price point, or do you want it to be more bid and ask and play like kind of price pong between the two kind of bid and ask ranges, or do you want a kind of widespread? More of a widespread starts to look more like a traditional UniV2 sushi swap kind of pool. You're definitely going to be earning trading fees across the full price range, but again, the more concentrated you make your range around the specific price point, obviously the more fees you're going to earn on larger amounts of capital. So they've even like it's just genius because they've kind of set it up in a way that is semi-idiot proof. And because it's on Arbitrum, because it's on Avalanche, you can definitely go and try this out with like a couple $100 and try and understand what's happening with this, because this is going to be one of those things where the rewards are going to be, the earlier you understand this and the earlier that you can implement a strategy around it, the greater your kind of alpha and rewards are going to be. So if you look at some of the analytics on this, so there's $3 million worth of liquidity in this pool, and the volume over the past 24 hours has been 3 million in volume. It's a 0.8 percent trading fee, resulting in 25 grand. So between the 3 million distributed out, that results in 25 grand being distributed between the people who are deposited in that pool. APR annualized is 209%, which is fucking ridiculous. And then the rewards are also like 23%, which will be in ARB, I can imagine. But the difference between this and Uniswap is if everyone's using Uniswap and this liquidity is like 300 million or whatever, like 250 million, and you're still getting the same amount of volume. Obviously, it'll be all relative, but the gap here is the amount of liquidity being provided for the amount of volume going through is very, very low. So that means you get a higher portion of the trading fees resulting in obviously higher APRs. So it's something to definitely go and check out. I've been thinking about even doing a short explainer and what it means and how to actually do it. Because I think we should be doing a little bit more of those in the company net with like an article. But again, it's just finding time. We're extremely busy, aren't we? So, but what I'll do is as a go between that, I'll try and get Fish and Blue from Trader on to interview them, and we can actually go through this. But I just recommend anyone listening just go and try it out, even if it's a couple of $100, just to get your head around it. See what you can earn overnight, or see what you can earn over the course of a week. Try the different type of bins out, try the different types of ranges and things like that, and see what suits you down to the ground. And if you can't be arsed with it, there's I think StakeHut, like StakeHut, I believe, StakeHut. They have some kind of automated vault on top of it, so similar to like how Arrakis run on UniV3. So StakeHut could be probably just giving away a little bit of alpha there. StakeHut could be a good play if Trader Joe runs. so yeah, go and check it out. But that's why Joe's pumping, because people are making a shit ton off the liquidity book. And it's about fucking time as well. They've got one of the best products in the full space, and they just kind of get shooed away because they were initially launched on Avalanche, and Avalanche is like, dying to death at the minute.
So ARB is pumping, just by the way, like it really is. It's the summoning has summoned as summoning.
There you go. Wow, it's gone from like the lows of 122 this morning to like 140 now.
So look at Bitcoin at the moment, guys. So Bitcoin's about to revisit that critical point of resistance. I think we're going to see it. I think it's going to break it, and I think we're going to see an interesting weekend. And I think if it consolidates at around $30,000, I think we're in for a very interesting time with alts. So hold on to your horses. Things might get very interesting.
Obviously not financial advice. He is just an idiot with a super fast computer and broadband connection. Whereas Grant and I are just two idiots with shitty little laptops that break down from time to time.
No. Grant upgraded his laptop. It's no longer shitty. It's actually quite a sophisticated piece of equipment. Look, we can even see his face. We can see like everything works. We can hear his voice. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
finally
give it a few.
did it. Oh yeah, there's 4 dogs now. There's not just 3, ladies and gentlemen. There are 4. One is bound to chew at least some of that laptop that he got. Ice. Remember Ice, guys? Popsicle Finance. Popsicle Finance in the last couple of months has done almost or over 1,000%. Just letting you know that some dogs don't die easily.
And when UniV3, when the UniV3, was it like patent is up, I think we could probably see something from Danny. Mate, ARB up at 142 now. That's mental.
That'll just keep running because it's a collective mind share, and everyone's like, shit, I've sold the bottom, so everyone just FOMOs in. This will be a complete FOMO run. And I'll enjoy every minute of it.
Me too. I'm very happy that it's doing good things.
Well, it's tempting just to like stink bit of shorting right at the top, because that like clipping. If you clipped 156 And like that wick from like a couple of days ago, literally just slammed it straight down.
I wonder if RB pumps. Does RB go pump after ARB? That's a correlation to keep an eye on.
Mate, I'm just waiting for. I'm waiting for size Chad just to come out of nowhere and just fucking. No, sorry, I didn't mean to. I got a bit passionate then. Size Chad just coming out of nowhere and absolutely smash the bears in the face. Like, yeah, not my altcoin. We're going straight to $2. Fuck off. Bang. Love that guy.
141. So the lows were in at 110, right? 111, 110.
You know, made a good 30 cents on the dollar.
Should be $10.
Should be $10. Yeah, I agree actually, but I'm definitely not biased.
I'm definitely
not buying here either.
So it's up 27%. Yeah,
we'll see.
We're in.
There's 2 launches happening.
Yeah,
Jerry, do you want to fill people in?
Yeah, we got Unstoppable, community-owned decks, no private sale, no VCs. It's basically you buying it at zero. That's, it's kind of like off on the ground level. That's what you're doing. You're not competing with anybody. And what they did is they took the Miso contracts from Sushi that Redacted Cartel used. They modified them a bit so that they could essentially use them on their own website. And obviously the audits had been done before, and they set up this whole Dutch-style auction over a 6-day or 7-day period. So there's plenty of time to go and buy some Unstoppable. And then there's Sector. Sector's got a thing going at the moment. Public launch as well, I think, on Camelot. So yeah, I mean, great projects. I mean, we actually did some articles on them. We've interviewed the guys. So check it out if you're in the market for something fresh. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Public launches have been interesting. Some have been a little bit shaky. Some have been fine. I think the limited ones or the locked ones are where it's at. And I think, these are effectively locked public launches. So they're not open-ended books. So let's see how they go.
Yeah. Right. Is there anything else to wrap up? The only other
what to watch?
I'm watching.
Yeah, what are you watching at the moment?
As mentioned earlier, Butterfly, Lit, obviously Timeless. It's just been consolidating down. It looks like it's coming into a good range now. And Gelato Network. They've got a shitload of stuff going on at the minute.
We've got an article coming out on Gelato, don't we? Soon.
Hopefully very soon. I'm just kind of patch it up now. Put some shit jokes in there.
That's right. Boys need those. Yeah, guys.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, just going into the weekend, I'm feeling particularly bullish. I know Dan likes it when I'm bullish because I like to stand on the rooftops and scream very loudly. I enjoy being bullish. It's definitely something that I prefer to being bearish. I don't particularly like being bearish. It has been a very bearish time, and man, I'd like to see Bitcoin break this 30,000 now and just completely lay waste to all this bear bullshit talk. I'm tired of it, to be honest. I'm done. Like, please, Bitcoin, deliver. Give us what it is we know that you are very capable of doing, and just silence all these emmers. It's time.
I tell you what, narrative has flipped based on a couple of tweets. It feels like people have begun to realize the power of the hero. Like Anatoly.
Yes.
Anatoly's obviously came across his desk, and now he's like tweeting about it nearly every day for some reason. I think he's he should be leaning more heavily into some of the builders that are on there doing good shit, but something's happened where he's realized, yeah, this is a fucking great product, and he keeps persistently tweeting about it. It seems to have had a good little uptick, and obviously that stuff that they've got going on. A lot of the degen apes are rallying around it as well, which is always nice to see. So yeah, I'd keep a close eye on that one. We'll try and get Gunny back on in a couple of weeks. And I think we might have a stream with RT next week or the week after as well.
Oh, that'll be good.
So just coming to the hero thing, and I'm glad you brought it up, is that they've just consistently continued doing what it is that they've been doing. They haven't stopped. It's been really interesting to see, like, obviously, they sponsor our stream. We always feature them, at the end of our streams in terms of their pari-mutual product, Moonrect. Great fun. Obviously, we made a bit of money a couple of weeks ago, but they've just consistently been doing their thing. Like I've had like chats with them, and it's like, how's it going? And it's like, dude, I just don't have time. I don't have time to speak to you. And they're building, and this is what bear markets are about. So there's two things. People have written off Solana. Guess what? Joke's going to be on you. Secondly, people make fun of Hero and say it's a shit coin, it's a shit project. You know what, bro? The joke's going to be on you, and it's coming. It's just a matter of time before that moment comes. TVL is increasing. Their product range is increasing. Remember, they're a network. They're not actually one product. They are a network which allows for other products to come on board. There's a whole lot of products that are currently in the works that are onboarding in the Hero network. The joke is going to be on you. Just remember this.
Just check the top 15 holders and then work out who they are, and then realize their history within crypto. You could say one, may have even led the Messiah, once great,
The guy that wore a gorilla suit on a stream, is that the guy you're talking about?
A banana suit.
The most handsome man in crypto.
He is a very handsome fellow. Absolutely is. I'd love to get him back on.
Yeah, one day.
I'd love to get him back.
Just quickly, Jerry, Jedi, what are you watching? What's on your watch list?
I'm watching Bitcoin, dude. I'm watching Bitcoin and I'm watching Ethereum. I honestly don't.
Back.
I'm so bad. I'm proper boomer. I'll tell you why. Is that at Blockmates, for some reason, we haven't stopped building either. For some reason, people like what it is that we're doing. I have no fucking idea why. I mean, what the fuck? But people enjoy what it is that we do. There seems to be a demand for what it is that we do. And we're saying no a lot of the time at the moment. People are coming to us, can you do this? And we're like, sorry, no, we don't have capacity. We're trying to up that capacity because there's some really good projects. There's also a lot of shit projects, but there's a lot of good projects coming on board. So I don't have time to get into the trenches. And I mean, I love the alt market. I love DeFi. I love all these new projects coming in. I mean, we had Perpy Finance. Perpy Finance launched last week. They've already had $10 million in trading volume. I wish I could go and watch what Perpy's doing, but it's just kind of like, got to get the next article out.
But you can read fucking newsletter, right? Do you know why? Because Perpy, they've got $10 million worth of TVL, right? But they've also got the Gains Network, and those people over at Levels coming soon. Plus, their NFTs may probably be dropping in April. I know I wanted to use an analogy with like May being the month of May, but I think they're going to be in April. So that's Perpy, man. Those little frogs, and you can tell we're like working hard and working smart. 'Cause look at these bags. Jesus Christ, Bankless ain't got that. Whoa, he's on fire on a Friday afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on a second, guys. Imagine this. Just imagine this for a second. This is really important. Listen closely. Imagine the two most publicized events in crypto, namely the Optimism airdrop and the Arbitrum airdrop. Remember, several months ago, we were making fun of guys writing threads on all the airdrops that were coming. Now, imagine those events were taking place and then claiming them as your own, as alpha to your community. We should try that sometime, bro. Guess who did that? I'll give you one guess who did that. It starts with a B, and apparently they delivered all of this information to their subscribers and their community and made them millions of dollars. Nobody knew about this, by the way.
Boomer's back.
Very
Almost.
clever guys, those guys that start with a B. Just go and subscribe to them. They'll tell you stuff nobody knew about.
Biggest wolves in sheep clothing in the industry, by the way. But no, nothing more will get said about that. Gents, is that it? Top of the hour?
That's it.
Bitcoin.
All right.
Do it for me, baby. Peace out.
I'll be need a new Lambo. I'll be.
Cheers, boys.